Iron Lords podcast. And we are live. Lord Cognito, Iron Lord podcast, lordsofgaming.net with the legendary Sir/Lord Toby, well versed in the realm of Deep Silver. And what do we got here? We've got Iron Harvest, the latest endeavor going on from Deep Silver. So Lord Toby, tell the people about Iron Harvest. What's going on with this game?
So Iron Harvest is a RTS, a real-time strategy game. Mm-hmm. Well, usually I do the RPGs, right? But this time I have something also very cool. Yes, RTS, so real-time strategy game. Mm-hmm. And Iron Harvest is a squad-based, cover-based RTS where you have to take cover, be smarter than your opponent, and what's the coolest of all, it's with giant mechs, and everyone likes mechs.
We like mechs, and we like World War
Big
I.
Mechs.
Big mechs. And Diesel Punk.
Diesel Punk.
Woo! So there's a lot going on here.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
get right into this game and show the people what they're missing about Iron Harvest.
Okay,
let's go.
So here at PAX, we have this wonderful booth, of course,
yes,
and the people can play one of the challenge maps. So Iron Harvest will be, or is, mainly focused on the single-player campaign, so there will be 21 missions for 3 factions, 7 each, but of course there's also different challenges and skirmishes you can do. Right. And what we can see here right now is I'm playing as Polania, one of the 3 factions, against Saxony. And we already see a wonderful mixture of different mechs and infantry units. Okay. While the infantry units are almost the same for each faction, they kinda differ in the weaponry they have. So the Polania units can shoot a little bit further.
Poland.
Yeah, exactly. The Saxony guys are a little bit stronger. The mechs are extremely unique. So, for example, this big boy here is something like a running, walking bunker. Wow. So if I put in these boys here, these cowboys, then they will double shoot. Not only is this a mortar, so he's shooting in distance. Now it's pretty close, but they will also from the inside shoot those minions here, for instance. Wow. So what is extremely important in Iron Harvest is that it's relatively similar to a game called Company of Heroes. So it's cover based. As you can see here, you have to move your units behind cover to keep them alive.
Nice. I love the cover system. That is awesome. Love, and also the camera zooming in. You get a little bit more of that detail. Now, what engine are we using? This looks fantastic.
That's the Unity engine. Woo! So we do everything to make it run smooth on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. Nice. And it will be releasing in the 1st of September.
Oh, we're coming soon, baby.
Yeah,
we're coming soon.
Almost there, right?
Right. This seems almost could be a cross-generational title with certain next-generation platforms.
Well, we'll see about that, of course. But hey, I mean, never say never.
Never say never.
For now, we are aiming at doing the single-player campaign, of course, but also support the multiplayer after release. So we are planning events afterwards. We want to have a ranking system and so on. Don't overdo it. It's a huge title, so need to do small steps. Right. But once we are there, I think there is a huge, amazing game waiting for the people, and I think it will be pretty cool.
Absolutely.
What you said about the units, like how all of the infantry units and things like that are very similar, but they have different weaponry. Now, the weapons that look like they're spinning, can like your people go pick them up and then you can use your opposite faction? Does it change the stats of the actual character that you have, or it's just a different weapon to more attack or so on and so forth?
That is an extreme clever question. Thank you for that. So, the weapons spinning on the ground, every infantry unit that dies drops its weapon, which means that you can use your unit and change them on the fly, on the battlefield. So we have engineers here who are pretty weak in shooting. We can see the stats, not very good. But if we take those machine guns here, they will, after some time, become machine gunners. Now this unit is almost dead already, so it's, well, not the best to use them, but still, we change them right now into machine gunners. This means you can, on the fly, on the battlefield, adapt the unit class. Right. And now we
and that
have...
also works with the mechs too.
No, unfortunately not. Oh. You cannot change the mech. However, now we have the big boy mech here.
Yeah, big boy coming.
Look at this one.
Big boy coming.
That is a big boy. And when you shoot down a mech like this one here, this or this, you can either use it as cover or you can dismantle it and use the resources for your own, of course.
Right.
So again, it's a tactical thing. Now the cool thing about the mechs is not only that they look kick-ass and that they do kick ass.
Yes, they do.
They also stomp through everything they come across.
Wow.
So let's
even
say,
terrain, even houses.
exactly. Let's try that. Let's see how
Big boy coming.
Big boy coming. And he will now. Let's say we have units here inside.
Yes. Storm the building.
Storm the building, but Big Boy doesn't care for any buildings, and he's just stomping through it.
I love it.
But this also shows you that the entire map is destructible.
Nice.
Not randomly. What I mean is that when we shoot this barrel here, for example, the house should explode only on the side.
Wow, nice.
Where the bullet hit the thing you're shooting at.
Yes, love that destructibility.
Now, is there aerial combat also, or is it just ground combat at this point?
At this point, we are only talking about ground combat, and we'll most likely keep it like that.
Right.
But again, never say never.
Yes.
The universe is eternal.
Speaking of the universe, we talked before, this universe looks awesome. Again, this diesel park. Now, this is based on someone legendary that has created this, that Iron Harvest has actually influenced. Can you tell the people in the realm a little bit about that?
Yes, very clever question again. You guys are well prepared. I love that. So the artist is called Jakub Rojalski. He's a Polish artist who was known, and now, sorry Jakub if I get the year wrong, I think it was 2016 or 17, his artwork was trending. The artwork you can see all over the booth,
Yes.
and he's painting this rural like landscape and in distance with the mechs. So these artworks he created were trending on Reddit.
Wow.
Then a company approached them about doing a board game. Maybe one of you might know. It's called Scythe.
Yes.
And we approached them then, or King Art Games approached them to actually do. How about we do an RTS about that?
Nice.
So the board game is kinda. Well, it takes place in the same universe, but the gameplay is different. While in the board game you're taking care mostly of economics,
Right.
here it's really shooting, destroying,
Gotcha.
RTS
Gotcha.
style. Now look at that. The Germans are also Saxony is also well prepared.
Yes, they are. They got a big boy themselves.
They have the big boy themselves.
We got some
now,
heavy MG bunkers
So now
too.
see at that. Now it's like an open fire, creating some smoke here. There's a stealth cover system as well, so you can hide your units in the bushes and stuff.
Nice.
So there's really quite a lot of tactics and strategy you can do here.
Nice.
Can you show us the where the resources are and
Yes.
that portion of that?
So right now we are playing a special PAX build where we don't have to take care of resources.
Okay.
But it's a clever question anyway, because you're not generating. You are generating resources over time, and to get resources, you need capture points like this iron mine, for instance. And over you see that right now we just got a lot of some iron.
Right.
And over the time you are getting the resources. However, the opponent can capture it from you, and you can slowly bleed out of resources. So what happens in this game is that essentially the front line of the battlefield is moving back or forth the entire game, the entire match. So that's what the game is about, a moving front line. So unlike an Age of Empires or Command & Conquer or something like that, your eyes aren't on your base most of the time, where you build up an economy.
That's a distinct difference.
Exactly, but it's on the battlefield because you have to keep your mechs. You need to take care of your mechs. You don't want to lose them. There's an experience system, so they get better over time.
Nice.
They gain new moves.
Wow.
So the engineers can build new buildings, for example, and so on. So you really have great interest in keeping them alive.
Okay.
Do you have like a class that's going to like heal or repair the mechs themselves?
Very good again. So we have the medics who are of course taking care of the infantry units. The medics, once they level up, they can build a field hospital, which is really good because, let me show you, there's an interesting mechanic in the game.
Right.
It's called retreat. So if you, retreat, but this time it's actually good because
Break it down.
like in real time it keeps you alive. So if you push the R button, the unit will get a small boost in hit points and speed. They will run back, you cannot move them anymore.
Oh, wow.
But
That's nice.
once they arrive back home, you can heal them completely.
Oh, okay. That's
So they'll automatically do that, so you don't have to have somebody to assign.
That's kind of cool.
Now we arrive back at home, we push the R button again and see we're getting the units back again, and now we have a full squad again.
Squad, they go back out. Now, I know initially we're focusing on the single player campaign, and I want to, before I get into multiplayer questions, but I wanted to ask, how are we telling a story here? Are we going to do stages with cinematics that's going to kind of convey the next level of what's going on?
I'm impressed about you, how good you are prepared. Damn. So, very good. We have, as I said earlier, we have 21 missions, 7 missions for each faction.
Right.
And we recorded over 60 minutes of fully motion capture scenes.
Right. Wow.
So the storytelling is extremely important.
Nice.
Let me briefly tell you what it's about.
Let's go.
Saxony is representing kinda Germany, and Russviet is kinda Russia in this alternative universe. And those two are fighting on the ground of Polania, kinda Poland.
So also World War I.
Exactly.
I got you.
Exactly. Alternative World War I, exactly going on here. And while the Polish people are more, well, they feel repressed, of course, because the battles are taking place on their country and they're losing ground and people and resources and so on. So what's happening is that the Polish people are something like, let's call them guerrilla fighters, sharpshooters fighting from cover. However, unfortunately, they have rather cheap units and are not very powerful, but they can mass produce.
Gotcha.
So that's their big.
So they got the numbers. They got
the numbers. Saxony, for instance, they have extremely expensive units, but. They are very powerful in attack and defense, but you have to have the cash to
so that's the balance.
That's the balance. And Russia, the Russviet, they are the strongest faction in terms of attack, but very bad in defending.
Even stronger than Germany?
Even stronger than Germany. However, they're very bad at defending. So when you attack with Russviet, rather make sure you finish your job.
Because if they hit back, your defense ain't enough for that.
You don't want them to hit back, because then,
Are you planning on having this set up for like player versus player, or
that's what
or online or things like that?
Exactly.
This could be so fun with multiplayer.
I'm also looking extremely forward to the multiplayer, because after release we will have multiplayer sessions and different events supporting the multiplayer.
So multiplayer confirmed is coming.
Multiplayer
Yes, you heard it here on the round first.
And it will be supported after release with different fun stuff.
Nice.
Some ranking system and so on. It will be pretty cool, I'm sure.
Are you guys planning on adding more factions and adding more classes and all of that into the future?
Well, for now, we're focusing on 3.
That seems like an obvious idea, right? But
this could be DLC.
This could be something for the future, I'm sure.
Yes.
And I won.
Awesome. Lord Toby, Iron Harvest looks awesome.
Thank you.
I am not the traditional RTS guy, but you have sold me.
But you can start. There's always a point where you have to start.
Listen, but honestly, the diesel punk aspect, all the balancing in the game with the different factions, and the fact that you said there's going to be a strong story beat is really exciting. And for people who want multiplayer, there's going to be a multiplayer component.
And I want to see you guys. I want to see the Iron Lord podcast do a 2 versus 2.
Woo!
So I want to see.
Addict, you heard that?
Yes.
Because he's our RTS guy.
Which team is the best?
Let's do that.
I want to see fight.
And we got to get Lord Peter, Lord Snell doing that as well. Now, my last question, as far as how close are we to release, and obviously formats and things of that nature.
So this joke unfortunately only works in Europe, because the game is called 1920 plus, right? Iron Harvest 1920 plus, and it's 1920, 1st of September 2020. In the US, you do it the other way around.
Right.
So the joke doesn't work. But it's the 1st of September, so from now half a year roughly, and it releases on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. It will be a great RTS also for consoles.
Awesome. Well, we cannot wait. This is Iron Lord Podcast approved. Lord Toby, a legend in these Iron Lord realm. A legend. Cannot wait. Iron Harvest looks fantastic. Always a pleasure bumping into you every time, brother. And you heard it here first. LordsOfGaming.net.